Hello and welcome to the Star Citizen podcast with me, BoredGamer, and the very lovely Zinnia. Say hello, Zin.
Hello, Zin.
We are talking about what's happening throughout December and what's just happened before December with the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo ending and Luminalia and big meta changes and 3.18 going to be out today. I've said and a lot. Zin and I, we're going to be looking at that stuff and talking about it quick. As well as 4.0 and CitizenCon in Los Angeles next year. So lots of things. A big list of and. Are you excited, Zin? Are you raring to go?
Always.
Zin didn't record a podcast last week because she had bit her own face open. I think that's an apt description of what happened, right?
Yeah.
But we're now good. We're now ready. Intergalactic Aerospace Expo 2952. And we've talked about this before. We've talked about it loads. Throughout the IAE, but really, Zin, I want to talk to you about a couple of things. The RSI Galaxy. Did you think it was a good ship, a bad ship, a ship that you're not interested in, or what? Galaxy?
Galaxy?
Okay, so for people that don't know, the RSI Galaxy, latest Star Citizen concept ship, unveiled at the IAE. Everything else was like straight to flyable, which is awesome. We had the Corsair, we had the Medical Pisces, we had another ship. What the ship did we have, Zin?
The cutter.
The cutter, the Drake cutter. Oh, how could I forget? I'm a monster.
It's because you don't like it.
No, I do like the Drake cutter. I like it, but for $10 more, it can turn into a penguin, and I can have a Avenger Titan. Oh, he's a little pengy boy. So the RSI Galaxy, latest concept ship, it is modular. So Cloud Imperium are going back to talking about modular ships. It is reasonably large. It's quite a bit bigger than a Constellation. And it's suitable for sort of like a smallish and moving on to slightly larger crew. But the main point of it is that it has a large modular section, and that section can be changed out for a medical bay, which is 1.5 times the size of that of the Apollo, effectively. It's effectively 3 Apollo modules rather than 2 Apollo modules. We've got a refinery, which can suck up the saddlebags of prospectors and the like, and then refine them. And we have a cargo bay, big old cargo bay. Now, the ship, the base model of the ship, was only $350, which had me going, what? I thought it was going to be like $600. But it is much closer to that if you buy all the modules for it, which are about like $80 to $90 each. So, Galaxy, did you think it's sort of a ship that you'd like because it's got the medical facilities, or are you okay with just having sort of like the Apollo or the Endeavour? What do you think?
I'd probably be happy with just the Apollo. The Galaxy's too big for me.
Okay.
If I was going to be on a big ship like that, it would be crewing somebody else's ship. I wouldn't own the ship myself.
Yeah. So the other thing I find with the Galaxy is that I find it hard to know what all the crew are going to do because it's not a combat ship. It's got turrets for defense and stuff. But I mean, it's functionality to me always looked like it was just like a 2 crew kind of ship. Maybe you could go, well, actually, if you've got all the medical beds in use, you're actually going to need to be actively doing stuff. But I don't think the medical gameplay is going to need you to do a huge amount of active gameplay constantly. Maybe I'm wrong there. And refinery gameplay, I don't suspect there's going to be loads of refinery stations that you constantly need to operate. That's just sort of, I think just a couple of crew can operate the ship. But that's just me. I think a lot of people were sort of disappointed with the ship. They were sort of expecting something a bit different. And a lot of people were annoyed at Cloud Imperium for releasing yet another concept ship. So where do you stand on that? Do you think that it's okay that Cloud Imperium release more concept ships because it's part of their monetization model, as long as they're clearing out more ships than they're concepting? Or what's your thoughts?
I agree with that. Like they can do what they want. It's entirely up to them. If the community really doesn't like it and it affects them, like Cloud Imperium, then I'm sure they will change their stance. Mm-hmm. But it makes them money. They have released a lot of ships recently that were in concept.
Yes, and so they are clearing out a load more concept ships each year than they are putting out, as it were. Well, certainly now they're getting out a load more ships in general because it's straight to flyable and that sort of stuff. So they're making great progress. And they've got over 120 ships in game already. And there's very few, I suppose it's all relative, There's not that many concept ships left to actually complete. It's just some of the old ones like the Banu Merchantman and things like that, and the Orion and all sort of ships like that. Yeah, they're not finished yet. They're not out, but they're big. They're complex. They're strange ones, and hopefully they'll be out in the not too distant future. But yeah, I think they're doing good. Cloud Imperium, the monetization model, sometimes a little bit FOMO-y and predatory. If you compare it to games that don't have macro transactions and microtransactions, but you don't need to buy any of this stuff. You can just get a starter pack, and you will be deeply happy if you like the gameplay in the game, because, well, you're going to be able to get all those ships in-game with in-game credits. How much money do you think they made in November, Zin, talking about the amount of money they made during the IAE?
Oh, God, lots. I don't know. I don't have a concept of how much money they make, so...
They have a concept. The RSI Galaxy.
You're not funny.
I'm quite funny. So, they made the most money they've ever made in a single month. $23 million in November.
Wow.
That is the most money they've ever made in a single month. It is a ridiculous amount of money. They've made, by a huge margin so far, by over 22 million so far this year. They've made the most in a year. So last year they made the previous most amount of money, which was 86 million in a single year. They are now currently 108 million in a single year, and they should breach that 110 million golden barrier easily in the next couple of weeks. So yeah, it's a lot of money. Could they make even more next year? It's possible, but it doesn't look like the steam is slowing down on Star Citizen as just a monetization beast. I'd have thought this would have started slowing down. I'd have thought people would have had less money to spend on digital purchases.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? It's a weird thing. Maybe their marketing is sort of getting to a critical mass, or maybe Star Citizen is getting a bit more mainstream.
I mean, obviously, looking at this graph, it's obviously most of the stuff comes from the Fleet Week and IAE.
Yes.
And they've obviously been pushing that the past couple of years.
They have. It's just absurd, the amount of money they make during Fleet Week and the IAE and throughout the year. It's just, yeah, it's immense. So they could make even more money next year. Obviously, this year hasn't even finished yet. Congratulations for Star Citizen for another record-breaking year. I know a lot of people don't like the monetization model, but sort of is what it is for Star Citizen. We wouldn't have Star Citizen at the scale that it is without that monetization model. And some people might be like, well, actually, I don't want it at the scale that it is. I just want a game released. And other people are like, well, actually, I want the game of my dreams. And the only way to get that is to have a infinite amount of money, apparently, and given as much time as they want to sort of complete the game. It's not feature creep. It's not vaporware if you're given enough money and time to do it, I suppose. Mm-hmm. And Cloud Imperium are delivering. It's slow. Did you see all of the Jax McCleary videos in the end?
I did.
I really liked what they did this year. It was like a video a day for like the first 7 or 8 days, and then one video to round it all up at the end. And it was very funny. I hope they do the same again next year. Like, rather than 3 larger videos or whatever, the lots of little ones I think worked. What are your thoughts? Do you like the larger segments?
No, I like the larger, lots of pretty imagery videos. But I did like the Jax McCleary little series. That was cool, and at the end it gave me feels.
Gives you feels. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, and obviously it keeps on teasing pyro and stuff like that, which is always good because we want pyro. Luminalia. So we're in the middle of Luminalia now. Lots of stuff to do. Star Citizen Christmas.
Calendar's started.
Calendar has started, although people were very complainy about not having the calendar items attributed to their accounts properly. So you can sort of get the Luminalia calendar stuff every day, starting yesterday at 4 p.m, every day at 4 p.m. UTC. A new item sort of goes on there that you will be able to use in-game. All of the items are usable in-game or have some sort of in-game presence. But the little jumpers that they have given away first, they haven't been attributed to people's accounts, and everyone's like, why not? I say everyone. You'll be able to get this stuff until January 10th, even if you sort of missed a day or whatever. You can retroactively go back and get it seems. and Cloud Imperium will sort it out so that it does get added to your account properly. So don't worry about that. Do you think people with concerns like that are sort of jumping the gun, or do you think it's good to just be Cloud Imperium to know about it immediately?
By all means, let them know, but it's just a free jumper, mate. It's not the end of the world.
Day one, free jumper. Ah, it's not on my account. This is the worst.
I really wanted to wear that jumper.
Yeah, I don't wanted to wear it now. Yeah, fair. Well, I mean, yeah, let them know. I think that's fair. Big meta changes are coming up soon in 3.18, which we weren't previously aware of. So there's lots of little quality of life things that they talked about with like lore and sort of settings. So you're not going to have to worry so much about getting random criminal stats and things like that. They sorted a load of bugs out, but distortion weapons are getting a big rework, or at least a pass. So they should be usable and not sort of like broken in either in an OP way or just not working way, which is good. So we'll see people using distortion weapons again properly. And ballistic weapons, shields are changing so that they basically allow lots more ballistic damage to pass through them. So only tiny amounts of ballistic damage are prevented by shields. So that's going to make ballistics hugely powerful rather than just quite powerful. There doesn't appear to be any changes to ammo count or anything like that either. So it's just a buff to ballistics, basically. And that combined with the soft destruction system, ships being permanently disabled rather than exploding a lot of the time, and a lot more PvP activities, could make this obviously an incredibly powerful PvP weapon. And I think some people are worried that piracy is just going to be overly abound in 3.18. Is that a concern to you? Or do you think, well, just because it legitimizes pirate actions now so that you can go aboard ships and loot the cargo with 3.18 doesn't necessarily mean that it's just going to be mad piracy all the time?
I don't know. I hope it'll make people think about who they're going to attack.
Yeah.
Is there actually any point disabling this ship? Are they going to have any cargo on board that's going to be of any use to me? Or can I sell it? Blah, 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 blah. I'm just hoping I won't get attacked.
Yeah, I think there is still an issue. So this legitimizes piracy, gives pirates things to do, gives people that want to loot and board and things to do. So that's genuinely a good thing. But there's still not enough downsides for the sort of piracy gameplay. Like if you get caught or whatever, you go to prison, you can buy yourself out of prison pretty easily with merits. And if you've been farming there, we've got a friend that's been farming them there, then you're like in prison for a couple of seconds. And even if you're not, it's relatively easy to escape. There's new ways to escape as well. And even if you don't escape, you can just sort of do missions where you are going to the oxygen, fixing the oxygen machines and that sort of stuff, and get merits very quickly anyway. So I'm not sure if there's enough disincentive without Death of a Spaceman and all that sort of stuff that makes you think about your mortality a bit more. And I think that the security forces in Stanton are a bit lacking.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see a much more Eve, maybe not as strong as Eve's response in secure space, but a bit more like that. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it'd be good. I think it might be because of it being the only system at the moment, and they don't really want to screw people over, for lack of a better term. But yeah, the security forces are a bit lacking. Every now and then you might get scanned.
Yeah.
Check if you've got any illegal cargo or stuff, but
I don't find the security forces enough threat or enough or responsive enough at the moment, but they're building a game. It's now for 3.18. So we were basically talking about that. But what do you think about the nuclear wipe? They're wiping everything, saying boom!
Everything. Everything. All of them. All of the different things.
It's reputation, Alpha UEC, ships, everything. The only thing you'll start with is a small amount of Alpha UEC, potentially your chit UEC, and anything that's attributed to your account, so ships that you've bought, stuff like that. So you'll only be starting with that. It's possible that Cloud Imperium will go, well, also, if you've been participating in Luminalia or some other event or whatever, we'll give you a little bit more money. But they haven't said that. That's just a possibility. Lots of people are asking me that question. But it's a bit weird that you've got Luminalia and there's sort of gifts and presents that you can find, pick up, and sell at the moment.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things that's happening. You can there's Christmas missions, delivery missions. But why would you do that if there's just about to be a wipe? Because 3.18 is should be coming out within a weekish. They said mid-December. Do you think they're going to be able to hit that mid-December target?
Probably not. I don't know. Everything's been confirmed. Yeah, so everything's been committed. Oftentimes when it's getting close to like first wave PTU, there might be a few things that still aren't committed.
Yes.
But apparently everything's been committed. So maybe soon, unless there's like some behind the scenes sort of bug that they're still trying to fix.
The blockers are something that happens that even if they've committed a piece of a patch can prevent it from being released. Can either prevent the patch from being released or the feature being released. And sometimes even when we're expecting it, they do push it back to like a point patch. So 3.18.1, they could have a part of what we expected to be in the initial build in it. But it's looking good. It's genuinely looking good for a live release by the end of the year, but potentially hitting the mid-December release date. I'm expecting it between the sort of 15th to the 23rd, a live patch. And at time of recording this, could be any hour that we get our first wave PTU. But we were waiting for it over the weekend as well, and it never turned up. But yeah, 3.18, really excited for it. I take it you're pretty excited for it, Sin, as excited as you can be for something that you know is going to take a lot of work and effort as soon as it's released.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting one.
We'll get a Start Here Star Citizen, a new Start Here Star Citizen. Oh, how exciting. How much work for you, Sin, to put together one of those. So, other than that, 4.0, Cloud Imperium, they're looking to have a huge push for 4.0 starting Q1 2023. It looks like that's the sort of main patch they're focusing on then. Not much word on 3.19. Last we heard, Cloud Imperium were still going to do a 3.19. Do you think they still will, Zin, or do you think they'll move straight on to 4.0?
I don't know, because it's not on the progress tracker.
It is not.
Well, it is, but there's nothing there.
And we're not likely to see anything updated with the progress tracker until early February now, because Cloud Imperium will get 3.18 out, and then it will be scheduling. So January and very, very early February is scheduling meetings for Cloud Imperium. They work out what they need to move around, what the focuses are for the year, all that sort of jazz. And then early February, I think February 8th, they should go, bam, this is the sort of context and sort of rough plans for the year. And this is a big roadmap update showing what's happening for the next 2 quarters. I do wish they showed us a bit further out, but they've tried that. And apparently that caused problems with people being grumpy or something. But
yeah,
for me, it's problems with Cloud Imperium going, we can't take criticism when it comes to our roadmaps for the sort of long-term roadmap. They just need to sort of grin and bear it and go, yeah, we're going to get criticised for not hitting things, for things changing. I would rather know what the rough plans are for the whole of the year, and then they go, actually, we're changing 90% of it, but that's what it was targeted at originally. But, you know, that's just me. Also, something else we found out that's happening in 2023 is CitizenCon appears to have a physical event in LA.
Are you sure?
Well, according to Sandy Roberts' Twitter, or Sandy Gardner's Twitter, where is it? Boop, 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 boop. She tweeted...
We'll see you in person at CitizenCon in Los Angeles in 2023. Stay tuned for details.
Yep. So we got that tweet. And yeah, I think that's an interesting one because I was expecting a physical event in the UK in 2023 just because they've got their big old studio there. It's like massive. It just makes sense for them to have all their devs there. But maybe it will be something where they split it across the globe, or I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But it does look like we're going to have a physical event next year, which is cool because they're quite fun. Sin and I may attend. Maybe. Potentially.
Maybe.
We'll see. Definitely go to the UK once. Oh, we should go to America though, because we have to cover the game. Yeah, rolling out to the end of the year, 3.18, lots of stuff with that. Waiting on Star Citizen financials to be released as well, for the previous year, and the sort of what their plans are for next year and all that sort of jazz. But if you're keenly awaiting 3.18 like me, you should not be disappointed. I hope you are not. Zin still thinks that it's potentially going to be only like a open PTU by the end of the year and 3.18 live next year, which she's right, it is a possibility, but it is looking good. I think that's pretty much it, Sin.
Yeah.
So I will wish everyone a happy Luminalia. Merry Christmas, happy Luminalia, and whatever holidays you celebrate, I hope you have a good one of them. Say goodbye, Zin.
Goodbye, Zin.
Take care, guys. See you in the verse. Peace.
Ho ho ho! Merry Nordmas!
It's Santa!
No, Timmy, it's Father Nordmas. I'm legally distinct and spread NordVPN cheer. Here you go, little Tim. Have some discount on your next NordVPN purchase. Just what you wanted. Go to nordvpn.com/BoredGamer.
But Santa, we don't want a VPN.
I told you, Tim, it's Father Nordmas.
Every month we have a ship giveaway. For December, we are giving away the mighty Drake Corsair Explorer with a Star Citizen game package and lifetime insurance. This no-nonsense Explorer can take you and 3 friends to the limits of adventure around the verse, and although more focused on exploration and expedition, it is a great multi-role mission runner too. Comment on any of my videos during December to be in for a chance of winning that. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. Please don't forget to like and especially subscribe to the videos, leave comments, and if you feel so inclined, use the join button under my videos and give a little bit each month to help the channel. It really, really does help. Or you can even become a Patreon or donate. Check out all the links below. Thanks very much for watching. Have a great time in the verse.